Yes, we are now live. Good evening. This is Otumba Who Latest TV. It's my pleasure again. I've not been on my show for a while. It's not because of anything. It's because I've been trying to fix things which are very, very private. And I've now come again. But the monthly briefing I always have with the national leader of Yoruba Self Determination Movement, Professor Banji Akintoye.
Hello,
Yeah,
Daddy.
yeah.
Ẹsẹ̀ tí ọ̀dọ̀ yín yẹn dáadáa, ó ń skip. Àgbọ̀ yín dáadáa.
But well, I don't know. Okay,
Bóyá kí
let
n dẹ̀
me.
wọlé padà.
Okay,
Bóyá kí n tẹ̀ kí n
Wale pada. Eli wale
ẹ
pada.
jẹ́ kí n wọlé.
There's a short in transmission. If I have this all the time, the answer to that may be technology. I have prepared the studio in such a way that normally shouldn't be any problem. But if we have this, there's nothing really I can. I'm so sorry for those of you who are already watching this show. Professor Banji Akintoye, the national leader of the Yoruba Self Determination Movement, is going to re-enter, is going to come back to the studio, then we can continue. So while I'm waiting for him, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching this show to please help share. Prof is back. Yes, I think it's better now, Abi.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Alagba Obalola.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate your services. Again, I want to appeal that people who are watching this show to please help share, like, subscribe, and please press the notification button. So when I subscribe to all bloggers, I subscribe to everybody. So, and I don't think I'll be asking for too much for people who are watching this show to subscribe to my channel. Again, I must also say I do not monetize my own channel. I do it for pleasure because most of what I need to spend money on, I think it's a very low level. I have it. So I'm not under any pressure to want to do subscription or monetization by force. So I'm sorry, it's not been arrogant. It's just because I want to do the show in such a way that I've not have anything to hide or something I cannot promote or something I should promote to ignore it. I will not do that. So I'm very happy to have everybody on board today. Thank you very much. Again, help me share this show with your friends and family so many people can watch the show. And if you don't, what it is when you are less busy, just click on the invite, the flyer sent out. You can use that to watch this show again. So I'm still waiting for Professor Banji Akintoye to say he's ready. So, yes.
It's just that I'm not hearing you clearly here.
I can hear you very well, sir. I can hear you very well. I don't know what is going on.
Motiniki Obalola, I get another phone, but I can try it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Maybe this might be better.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
This is better.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Baba, I'm a need láti launch new phone mi fún yín. Àwọn latest Premax àkànná pé yẹn bóyá la máa get fún yín sá o.
Ṣé phone?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sir.
Ó dáa tẹ́ bá mú wá inú mi á dùn.
Of course, ẹ̀tọ́ yín ni sir. That would be what you entitled to let my gbà yín sir. Because of
Okay.
time, I want to welcome you again to our monthly briefing on Otumba Who Latest TV. And as usual, I do not need to go through into introducing you to the whole world knows you, who you are, what you do, and your present position. That you are the leader of the campaigner for actualization of Yoruba Self Determination Movement is not in doubt. Everybody know that. Um, so really and honestly, it's something that gives me joy to have you tonight again, Baba. How has it been with you, sir? How is life? How's everything, sir?
Fine, fine. Well, I'm doing what I love to do. I love the Yoruba nation, and I don't think they should continue suffering in Nigeria. So everything I do is toward that objective. And by the grace of God, we are seeing results here, a little there, cumulatively amounting to a whole lot.
Okay.
As for me personally, I am very well. My health is sound. And I often say to myself, that is because millions of people are praying for me every day. God is in action and answering their prayers for me.
I'm very happy to hear, and especially when I deduct 76 from 88, there is a huge gap of 12 years. And I look at myself and say, I love to be like you when I get to 88, sir.
Amen. Ọlọ́run á grant wish it here now.
Yeah. I'm not, again, because of time, I said that before, I want to make sure that everything is within 1 hour. Baba, I react to followers. So I have a large number of followers all over the world. And I also have people who always call me and say, how far? What is going on? What is the progress? Especially people say, now that you have a Yoruba president in the name of in the person of Ashaju Ahmed Tinubu, what are you going to be doing with the next during his presidency? Even though as it is the president of whole country called Nigeria as he speak, nobody can change that for now until when the circumstances that will lead to this goes, that goes, and so on and so forth. The question is, what should we be doing now, sir? What should we be doing now for the next couple of weeks, months, and years, knowing that he has the 4 years?
Thank you for asking that question, because it is the most important question at this hour. We have a man of our own blood as president of Nigeria. But we are Yoruba. We are not foolish enough to believe that ends our problems in Nigeria. It doesn't end our problems in Nigeria. Well, if God gives him life and everything is okay, he could be governor, he could be president for 80 years. After the 80 years, what follows? We are not foolish enough to want to plunge back and start from the beginning again. No. The second thing is that even now that he is there, the Fulani have not stopped attacking our people. They are killing people all over Yoruba land now, and they are arriving in larger numbers than before. The dynamics behind that is that Buhari announced in 2019 that the Fulani can start coming in without passports or visas. Because they are mostly illiterate in the bush, they didn't get the message in good time. But large numbers of them are getting it now and are coming to Nigeria. And when they arrive in Nigeria, it is still the same as if Buhari was still there. The gates, the border gates in the north are all wide open. And there are 37 different gates in the north. All of them are open, and the Fulani are pouring through every one of them every day. And when they come, they are admitted and given Nigerian citizenship ID immediately. And before the election, they were also given voting cards immediately. They are still arriving I'm being admitted. I'm being given Nigerian citizenship ID. So, and when they come, they have their own that they want to go, because before they leave, somebody guides them, gives them a map of where they should go. Look at this map. That this is a place called Ekiti in Nigeria. You are going to go to so town there and hide in the bush. Some of your people are already there. You go and join them, and so on. So it's a very well organized thing. And occasionally they come out of the bush and block the roads, and and kidnap people on in transport, and go to churches and kill people. This last week they killed a pastor in a church near Lagos. So it goes on and on and on. So we are a strong nation, intellectually a strong nation. We are not foolish enough to believe that a Tinubu presidency ends our troubles in Nigeria. His presidency does not end our troubles in Nigeria. I have said, in fact, many times, that even if the Constitution of Nigeria provides for 10 presidents together at the same time, and Nigerians appoint 10 Yoruba persons as 10 presidents at the same time, it will not still end our problem. So we love Bola Tinubu. We will not do anything to embarrass him or to frighten him or to annoy him, but we will continue with this in our own gentle, peaceful, law-abiding manner to promote the struggle for the liberation of the Yoruba nation from Nigeria. How are we going to be doing that? The details are already clear. We are going to be carrying out seriously, quietly, peacefully, in a law-abiding manner, grassroots awareness campaign. And this time around is not grassroots awareness campaign that reaches the youth alone. The youth are very heavily mobilized, but there are large numbers of our prominent citizens, business tycoons, university lecturers and professors, businessmen employed in business, and so on and so forth, chiefs, obas, etc. They will be included in the grassroots awareness that is now beginning back home. So that's that. One young man asked me a question when I was describing this to a group, an audience, a few days ago. He said, but the Fulani are not going to give up the struggle. I said, yes, I know. That's what I've described. He said, that's not the one he means. He means that the Fulani may attack Tinubu's government, may create trouble for him at some point, and so on. If that happens, what are we going to do? And I said, well, if that happens, we are not actually waiting for it to happen, because we must be ready before it happens. So the leaders of this struggle are beginning to put heads together to fashion out a response that, one, will preserve Tinubu's life, two, will preserve the Yoruba nation, three, I don't want to say more than that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. From this short illustration or explanation as to how we are going to continue the relationship with the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's refreshing, it's very encouraging. I mean, at least it's clearly explained that it's going to be a program or a project of engagement. We need to engage. And this has always been my position. There's no shortcut to Yoruba campaigners engaging with the government of Nigeria, because it's clear that there's no shortcut to it. We have to find a way of engaging with the government, any which way. Because
may I just comment on that?
Yes, sir.
It is we who have refused. It is not we who have refused to engage.
Yeah.
It is the Fulani-led government of Nigeria that has refused to engage. So we have a good reason to believe now that we have a federal government with which we can engage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, sir. The word engagement is the main point I want to make. That any which way, yes, I do agree that your leadership, you've done all necessary things. You've written a letter to the past government, and you also wrote a letter to the new one. Immediately he started. I mean, he was sworn in. Let me quickly ask: have we got any reply from let's talk about present. The past is gone. Have you got any response from the present government, sir?
No, we don't expect it immediately now. No.
Fair enough.
We must give him a chance to settle down.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that because, like Riley said, he just coming in. He's just a new occupier of the position. Now, I also want to say that part of my feedback, part of what I hear from people, is this issue of campaign of how exactly how do we going to put in place the awareness. People want to know. I mean, it shouldn't be something that people should not know. How are we putting that program of awareness or engagement? Let me use the word engagement with this government. Yeah.
Well, first of all, the awareness. The awareness is about our people. Engagement
Yes.
is with the government.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. The awareness in all parts of the world, in all countries of the world, awareness among the people over any particular instruction that they want, that the leadership wants to pass to the people, can happen in many ways. It can happen through rallies in the streets, which we did before, and it was wonderful. It can happen by quiet messages around, and that demands that you train your young people, the campaigner, very, very assiduously, so that they will be strong enough to face the difficulties on the road. We want to try this latter one. We have done rallies in the past. We want to now create a situation in which large numbers of people are going out quietly, surreptitiously, reaching different parts of society. As I said before, it's easy to read the youths, but the youths have been mobilized, sufficiently mobilized. What we must now do is to reach the slightly older segments of the society. As I said before, our professionals, our business people, our employees of international companies, and so on and so forth. We must go to them in their houses, and our chiefs and nobles. We must go to them in their houses and tell them, listen, this struggle for the Yoruba nation is your struggle. It's everybody. It's a struggle of every Yoruba person. You're not taking part in it is hurting a lot of things. One, it is slowing down the struggle itself. That does not mean the struggle will fail. It cannot fail. We are not going to give up. There's no going back. So it cannot fail. But our fear is that when it does succeed, it will be a whole army of young people doing everything without some slightly wiser voices among them. And that cannot be good. It cannot be good because we know you will not like to be left out. You won't. So you will be lobbying, campaigning, carrying out rumors against the young men who are ruling the country. It has happened in many countries in the world. It happens in Eastern Europe. When communism broke up in 1990, and an army of young people took over 2 or 3 of the countries, the elders reacted and the brushing between the elders and the youth led to a lot of trouble, We must avoid that. So we will let them know that we want you to be involved. And we are not asking you to nobody is running around now. We are not asking you to run around. The time of rallies is not here. But what we are saying is your young people in your neighborhood, they are there acting, reaching you, reaching other people, and so on. Give them a good word. Let them feel comfortable with you. If you have a few pennies occasionally, let them have it to support their struggle. We are not for rallies. Come to the streets to rally among the young people. So it's a language of love, of family. Yes, language of love, of family, of very great carefulness in the handling of people. We can do that. That's something we can do. Especially because while we are doing it, we hurt no law. We do not offend against any law. And so the young people who are doing it do not have to be afraid of anything. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Again, as I've said, because of time, we don't have the luxury of taking too much on, on areas I want to touch with you, sir. Again, I think it's also part of the campaign, part of the awareness to include that our people need to understand that the campaign should be, it should be a kind of not to be linked with force, to be linked with hatred.
No, what I have described to you, I said it is a family thing, a love thing. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that is it. And our young people, with a minimum of training, they can understand that and carry it out.
Thank you, sir. The other area, I'm working on most of the feedback I have from my own followers, and I have no doubt in my mind because they are highly informed followers, people that I know. When they ask me a question, I say, well, look, I am going to take the question on and ask my leader, and I want to appreciate our relationship. So far, so good. And at this junction, because of time, I may allow people to call in if they want to call in quickly, and the question has to be a quick one, so Baba can answer the question. And like I said, now the number is showing on the screen. If anybody want to call in, feel free to call in now. I will take your call, and Baba will be able to answer your question. While we are at that,
I need to add that
yes,
I am delighted to answer your question. I want my people to know that I'm delighted to answer your questions.
Okay, sir.
I am happy to answer your questions.
Okay. Does that mean if any some of the viewers all over the world, if somebody pick the phone and they call in on this show, are you willing to answer that question, sir?
I'm willing to answer any question from any Yoruba man concerning this struggle. This is a struggle of all Yoruba people.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So, viewers, here you go. If you want to call it. Now, there's another area I also want to touch. Our support. People say, why will Yoruba campaigners for actualization of Yoruba nation be supporting other agitators? I call them agitators.
No, that's a misunderstanding. We are not supporting any other agitators. We are not even strong enough to do our own thing fully. So where do we have the energy to support other people? We are not supporting anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a time, I will explain, because the struggle belongs to our people. They need to understand. And so I will make them, help them to understand now. There was a time when the Igbo leadership at home and abroad contacted us and said that it was time to act together, and we listened to them and we discussed. And the idea was that we cannot do anything together more than that we agree on the same day. You declare your country, we declare our country. It makes it difficult for Nigeria to suppress both of us at the same time. That's all. That is all. Nobody suggested anything, or that we send our boys to go and help them, or that we give money to them, or that they give money to us, or that they give us equipment. No. There is no such thing. It's just this idea of the end point. When we declare our state at 12 noon, you declare your own state at 12 noon, and you proceed in an orderly manner. And if the federal government comes in there, then we have a strong voice in the international community. That's all. That was the only thing we agreed upon. Nobody agreed to work together, to join together. No. I'm your leader. I know the Nigerian situation very well. I have been in this since I was a child, a small boy, undergraduate boy in University College Ibadan. I know that the Yoruba people must do their own things separately and successfully, and not wait for anybody and not dissipate energy trying to help anybody. That's it.
About this, at a time, sometimes 2 years ago, there was the issue of how quickly can we penetrate in the process of the engagement, which you gladly explained to us, and people, and I agree with that. That of course there's going to be engagement, and in the process of this engagement, it is also safe or correct to say that we need to back up whatever we are doing. And whatever we are doing, for example, that we need to appreciate that there will be, there can only be, or there must be a political process. We cannot just walk in there, because we need to engage people who are representing Yoruba people in House of, the National Assembly, and also the local government level and state level. There must be a kind of a presence that we need to let these rep who are there now, which most of them are not supporting Yoruba campaigners. I know there's some who will say, well, look, we can embolden it, we can say it loud, we can make more noise to make it wider and bigger. Now, isn't it also right to say that it is now a better time to have additional plan B, the Yoruba people, because the coast is clear. I mean, I'm very proud to say that we have somebody who can listen to us. No doubt about that. I cannot imagine that the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will say he doesn't want to engage, he doesn't want to speak, he doesn't want to do this and do that. Isn't that make sense for us to have, in addition to what we are doing now, to have another kind of a backup? Which for me, I said
what do you mean by another kind of backup?
The backup would be a kind of a plan B in addition to whatever we are doing now. Because
what kind of plan B? What kind of plan B would that be?
The plan B would be for me to have a kind of an additional engagement as you speak.
You keep talking of additional plan B and so on. What exactly do you have in mind?
What I have in mind, sir, I will explain this. What I have in mind is to ensure that if what engagement method, whatever we are doing now, is not working, there should be another arrangement that we can set up. Last time, I'm one of the first persons that suggested that let us send some of our rep, or let us engage 2 or 3 or more Yoruba representatives or assemble people to support this struggle. And it was not, maybe, I don't know why it was not popularly.
To support what?
To support to support this struggle. This struggle needs to be Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I spoke earlier on that we are going to do grassroots awareness, and that it is not going to be limited to going about in the homes and workshops of the youths, that it will go to every segment of the society, and that includes the politicians also. It includes the politicians in the houses of assembly in our states. It will include our representatives in the National Assembly. It will include the officials of the government of Nigeria, and that's it. And the important thing is that we will handle this with such decorum that the chances of failure will be nil. That's it. Protocol and get things done. We want to go and see, we think we have reached a point at which we have something to go and see the president for. We will do exactly what is laid down in the procedure of reaching the president. The procedure is there. The protocol procedure is there. We are the big thing about the Yoruba people is that we are a solidly educated people. We are the most educated people on the African continent and one of the most educated people in the world. We will handle this with finesse, and there's no possibility of our failing. There is no need for us to look for plan B or backup or anything. No, yeah. The road is clear for us now. We have our own brother in the presidency of Nigeria, and some of the closest persons to him working with him in different positions as ministers or advisors and so on are Yoruba. It's different now from what it was under Buhari, and we must take advantage of that to the fullest. And the way to take advantage of that to the fullest is to carry out things according to proper protocol and decorum. That's all.
Okay. Again, I have a couple of feedback. I just hope in the process. Yeah, I think we have an issue with the network where Baba stays. Okay, I think Baba is back again. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I think you have, in your response, in your answer to my first and second and third question, you already said it. You agree with me that let's quickly recap. We will do everything possible to contact, to work with the president, to lay our demand, and with the quality and caliber of people that we'll be sending to do that for us, there'll be people who will deliver, who will do the job of engagement diligently, so at least we get a desired result. Now, let me now go to another area that is also very, very important to many people. If at the end of the day, because the way things are, and I said it in a voice note, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, as long as the word exists, he will not sit on a divided Nigeria. He will not divide Nigeria. Well, again, he said that he's entitled to say that. He's a Nigerian. He has the right to express his own opinion. His own opinion does not necessarily mean opinion of all the Yoruba or Nigerians. Now,
It is not just a question of his. It is not just a question of his expressing his opinion. He's a president of Nigeria.
Yeah.
He's the president of Nigeria. No president anywhere in the world will say, I am going to see the country that I rule divided.
Yes.
No. Yeah. So when he says, I am not Nigeria, he's saying what he should say.
Okay, I think we're having issue with the network. It's been going well before. I'm sure Professor Banji Akintoye, the national leader, of Yoruba Self Determination uh, uh, Movement will be back with us shortly. Uh, his line is frozen. You get that a lot and when you are in Europe and you are connecting to another situation somewhere. So bear with us. I mean, he's going to come back in a second again. This has happened a couple of times. So for people who are watching this show, again, you are really welcome. You are really you have the uh, the time. I mean, so if you don't have the time, if you want to call in now, please do so. So Professor Banji Akintoye will be back with us again shortly. Feel free to call in to discuss some of the things we have mentioned to Professor Banji Akintoye in this month of July briefing. Yes. You are welcome back, sir. I know it is the network. It's the network that is that's not too good, but it's okay. But I can see you very well now, sir. I've just, people who want to call in, please feel free to call in. But there's another area that I quickly want to touch. But maybe the nature, the way I put the question, you have been able to cover it together.Maybe we don't have the luxury of the time and so on and so forth. A couple of people have said to me, we do not necessarily need to go back to a certain part of this argument, like how we get here. We're already here. Some people are still wanting to go back to history, that is how we got together in 1914. Hello?
Yeah, I just hear no clear words.
Hey, okay, but can we use we were getting on very well before, sir. Maybe you use the same phone you used before. Mr. Balola, maybe you can help Papa.
Even what you are saying now, I cannot get it.
Okay, but I can hear you very well, Joe. I can hear you very, very well, sir. But you can hear me. Do you want to change the phone again, sir? Do you want to change the phone again?
Charge.
Okay. Your phone is 0. And Baba's phone is
yeah, that phone that was good is now 0. No
okay.
power. We were careless. We didn't look at the power.
Okay,
Yeah.
Baba. Again, I can. If you can't hear me, it should be. Maybe we can use the phone to call, and then I can continue the interview on the phone. Well, we've done 38 minutes. I really want to round up by 45 minutes to let you go. You still can't hear me, sir? Okay. Maybe I can call you, then we can continue the interview on the phone. Can you hear that, sir? Okay, Obalala. Baba, you still can't hear me. I can see you. You're looking great. You're looking very, very well, sir. And I can see, but the problem we are having issue with the connection, especially with your phone. What is the best thing to do? I can let you go, sir, and then continue the show on my own and get people to ask questions, even though it will have been better if we were able to hear answer to any question that might come from you. So, but the way things are, it looks like it's not going to be so. Baba, what you can't hear me, I can hear you. So, viewers, you just have to bear with us. So that is exactly what we have. Tonight, I've been able to engage with Professor Banji Akintoye for about 37 minutes when this problem started now. So we might have to end the program there, and then I can do another program to meet my 2 hours every Friday show. So, but again, like I said, if anybody want to call in, please feel free to call. You are welcome to call and contribute. So unfortunately, the line is dead, even though you can see the picture of Professor Akintoye, but we can't hear his words. And really, there's no magic I can do about. There's nothing I can do about that. It's very sad. It's going that way. Baba, ẹ jẹ́ kí n fi ń lẹ̀ kẹ́ máa lọ sà, because there's nothing.
Okay. Actually, I'm sorry that the mechanical things stopped us, but I just want our listeners to know that I love them all, and I love communicating with our people. I love answering your questions because this struggle is for you, your struggle. And the new country that is coming is your country, more than my country. If God gives me the life to see it for a few years, then I will be very grateful. But in your own case, my prayer is that you will be there, young and strong and ready to go, and ready to build one of the most successful countries in the history of modern times. God will grant that to you. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye now.
Thank you for that, and well, for the last words. I appreciate you. I just hope that to make up, probably before the months run to an end, I will be happy if I can have you back, so to make up for this uncompleted interview. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir, and good night.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, viewers, that's how it's been. Unfortunately, most of the time when we connect our guest in Sub-Sahara Africa or West Africa or some other parts of the African continent, it has always been a problem. But before you go, I think I'm going to go on a short break. When I come back, I have someone I can start to talk to, uh, ask questions, and then maybe that will make up your day. Please do not go away. Don't go away. I'll be back in about 2-3 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much. My next guest is someone who I had before. His name is Shegun Daniels. Good evening. How are you doing today, Mr. Daniels?
Well, good evening, viewers. I'm happy to be here. We thank God everything is fine so far.
Well, nice to see you. Not to hide anything,
Yes,
just let's be. We don't want to be opaque here because we want to be transparent. I must say, Shegun Daniels is my nephew's son. Is someone who is also interested in the in the activities of how to get a nation. I choose my words. I'm very cautious, but then again, there are also a couple of things I believe we can learn from him. Maybe let me ask him to tell us a little bit about himself again, all the area which I think we can test his competency. Shagun, what area do you think you can offer your expertise?
Um, as regard the issue of Yoruba self-determination, my expertise will be in social reengineering as well as strategic planning.
Okay. Okay, let's get started. You heard about Yoruba agitation movement campaigners. How much interest do you think you have in getting a Yoruba nation actualized?
Absolutely 100%. I'm a Yoruba. I was born a Yoruba, though by nationality I'm a Nigerian. And I cannot dispute that. That's a fact of the moment. Legally, by sovereignty and the establishment of the Conventions of Community of Nations, Nigeria is the only existing nation that is in West Africa where within the Yoruba nation exists. So that's my position.
Thank you very much. Viewers, let me say this to you. This is the second segment of the show tonight, Otumba Who Latest TV. I'm the host, Otumba Ashimola Bodo Seni. I've had Professor Banji Akintoye because of the bad connection to Africa where he is, been able to have a full interview. And now I have to make up the time, Mr. Shegun Daniels. I want to ask you, what do you understand the process and procedure of getting a nation out of a nation? A good example, getting a Yoruba nation out of Nigeria.
Thank you for that question. I think there have been a whole lot of dissipation of emotions rather than facts regarding how to go about establishing or creating or making a nation, Yoruba nation, out of the current existing nation, which is Nigeria. Most of it actually have been wishful. There's nothing wrong in being a dreamer or being visionary or being innovative. However, facts are facts. We should deal with facts. We should deal with processes and procedures and have specific strategic approach in achieving our aims or objectives. I think that is what has been lacking in the movement so far. We probably have not had the time to sit around. Many who aspires, who wish, who desired to have a nation of their own by the name Yoruba Nation or Dudua Nation, as the time might arise. Because even that we have not agreed on. In the birth of the nation, we could have a problem deciding what is the nomenclature for this particular nation. So, and I think that should all be part of the ingredient that comes in the mix so that we can strategically plan. Now, coming to your question, how do we, or how can another nation come into being out of an existing one? We have seen several cases, particularly in Europe. We have seen the case of Yugoslavia. We have seen the case of Czechoslovakia. We have seen even current agitation in Spain regarding Barcelona trying to be out of Spain. And in United Kingdom, where I live, we have seen agitation in Scotland trying to be out of United Kingdom. And so there have been several countries. In fact, in Africa, there have been a birth of new nations out of an existing one. A credible one is that of South Sudan. South Sudan was created out of an existing big Sudan, the massive Sudan. Equally, Eritrea was created out of Ethiopia. So there have been nations that came out of an existing nation. Yes. But amongst all of this, we should look at the strategy that brought in the birth of those nations. In the African sub-region, we have seen most of it have been an issue of probably a long battle running or violence. That seems to be our default. We need to agitate, kill ourselves, shed blood. There is even an opinion by a lot of people that without shedding the blood, you cannot have it. But the case of Czechoslovakia proved the world wrong. That you can have a birth of different nations without shedding a single blood. And even the activity going on in the United Kingdom regarding Scotland shows that you can dialogue your way into an existing of a nation. There are rules, regulations, protocols, procedures that simply needs to be followed. But some of us believe, or some people believe, that the default is you must struggle, you must fight, you must kill yourself. There has to be people who need to make sacrifice of their own blood, except them. The blood of others or others' children or others' daughters must be shed for us to have this nation. That is where I take my exception, that we can explore these other avenues, that we can judge or dialogue our way out of it. And my position is this: to secure any nation out of an existing nation is a political question. It has to be a political negotiation. It is not a wish for miscreants. It is not a wish for thuggery. It is not a wish for those who just agitating because they are consumed by passion or they are consumed by emotions. No. These are legal issues outlined that must be securely requested for and pressed on for. And the only place where you can have such debate is to have a seat where that can happen. I've given an instance of earlier of Barcelona. Barcelona have a House of Assembly, a legislative house, where they passed the motion that they are requesting those who are agitating for it, who are participating in politics, those who are agitating for that independence, those who are agitating for independence in Scotland's SNP, Scottish National Party, formed a political party. It is anywhere a political question. These are ideas of running away from doing politics of it. Then you have to possibly feel that the default of such people is you must go to the street, you must cry, you must shout, you must use newspaper, you are dancing around the whole matter. You have to come as a Yoruba and olori. If you have an issue with someone, you come to the table to discuss it with it. You don't go to Kano to go and shout Yoruba Nation on the streets. No. You come to the National Assembly, that is where, so even if you discuss it with the president, it's a nullity. The only place where such can be discussed is the National Assembly. If you are serious, and that's why I talk about strategic planning. If we're serious about this, we must begin to have people who share this ideal. Even if we have just four legislative members. Today, 2 senators, 2 House of Rep stood up in the House today and said, I'm a Nigerian, a senator of the Federal Republic from Kwara East or from Lagos West. And my position is the Yoruba nation needs to have independence. That is my motion. It will cause an uproar rather than all the marching and protests that we want to have on the streets of Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ondo. Just one senator. Just his pronouncement in that house, just one, have a far-reaching impact than if we go to the street where they will bring mopo, bring soldiers, to dislodge us. It will have a far-reaching effect. That is the politics of it. We need to start having people who unless we are lying to ourselves that we sure need that Yoruba nation. If we know that our people do not need it, don't let a handful of us. It's just like election. You can go to a rally and see mammoth crowd. It does not translate to electoral result. Nearly half of those who came to your rally will not vote for you because they will not even be at the polling station. So the politician or the aspirant or the candidate who at the end of the day scream and said, oh, I've been rigged out. The truth is, half of them stayed at home. They did not turn up. The rest half did not even vote for you because somebody else has campaigned again for them. And it goes on and on and on and on, and that domino effect where you eventually have only 3,000 people voted for you, whereas 650,000 have attended your rally. We have to be truthful to ourselves. Truth are far from emotions. Yes, truth are far from emotions. So if we desire and we know that genuinely Nigerians, in Yorubas, in their large population, are really genuinely demanding of this, we need to start recruiting politicians or take ourselves into politics and find ourselves on that table where we can put our agitation at the table. A very homely one. I live in London, United Kingdom. A very homely one. It takes just one man, Nigel Farage, in United Kingdom, to start a campaign. He did not start that campaign in his home. He did not start that campaign only alone in Westminster and carrying placard, or go and recruit half of London, or half of England, or half of England and Wales. No. He participated in politics, and he did not do that in Westminster. You know where that discussion can be tabled, where it can be spoken about. It's in Brussels to take UK out of EU. He took a seat there until he got a seat in Brussels, in EU. That's where he can talk it. Why do we have to castigate our politicians? It's not strategic planning. It's not.
So thank you. So what you are saying now is this exercise of our quest for Yoruba nation, there's no another shortcut to going through political process. Is that what you are saying?
Absolutely no other choice. Any other thing that will come out of it, whether you want to discuss plebiscite about it, you want to discuss delineation of constituency, you want to discuss whether they will vote on it or whatever, and has to be in that legislative house. So the wishful thinking of, oh, we are going to have it, or we are going to craft a constitution, it still has to come to that house. So why are we running away from it?
Now, there's this question of how it all began. 1914,
Okay.
amalgamation of documents that some of us have access to, some people do not have access to it. Yeah, well, again, it looks like the issue of contacting, linking up. Uh, okay, I think I will bring the whole show to an end today again because there's no uh, under any constraint or anything. I will have to bring Mr. Daniel Shegun Daniel back, maybe today, later today or tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for being there. I also need to go to another show now. It's been my pleasure. My name is Otunba Hu, and thank you very much for watching. And please click on the flyer sent to you so you can see the program from beginning to the end. There are 2 segments on it, so that I hope that will be helpful. I appreciate everybody. I want to let everybody go now. God bless you. Have a lovely weekend.